Kid here with a review of the colorful iGame GeForce GTX 1050 Ti. This is a 4GB graphics card from the Vulcan series of the iGame GPUs. As you can see here, this one is all ready to go, DirectX 12 enabled. It's got all the latest support and technologies that you would expect. Here are the specs on default and on the boost overclock. Yes, that's right. This is an overclocked edition graphics card. These are the default settings, but when you press this little button at the back, it boosts it a little bit. And what I mean by a little bit, about 100 megahertz roughly, give or take. You can overclock this even further, and I did that, and I'll show you later on in the video. In the box, you're going to get Molex to 6-pin power connector, the graphic drivers and utilities, and the manual. That's pretty much it for a mainstream graphics card. That's right, this is a mainstream graphics card. It's only 128-bit bus bandwidth, so you can't really expect too much from a 4GB graphics card. It's not meant for 4K. It's meant for 1080p at high or ultra maxed out settings. Beautiful fans. I love how thin, fast, and quiet they are. That little turbo button at the back, again, that's if you want to give it a boost by default, so overclocking instantaneously. 6-pin power connector, so not too much power drawn from this card, and again, it is very quiet. I do like the construction quality of this. Look at that back plate that it includes. So, it's giving you a little bit more bang for the buck, considering some higher end cards would have this back plate and design, so I'm pretty impressed on that portion there. If you were to obviously open this up and see the heatsink and everything, this is what it would look like. So there you have it. If for those of you that are interested, nothing out of the ordinary there with those heat pipes. That's pretty much standard. What I liked about this is it didn't bog down my system. It didn't bottleneck anywhere. Here are the specs of my test system. If you're wondering, you can pause the screen at any moment in time here to see any of this. Overclocking, again, very easy. Obviously, you just press that little turbo button at the back and you get a boost from the default to 1380 megahertz. That's the boost clock. But I overclocked it even further manually to 1525 megahertz using the utility that the iGame folks provide. So the colorful brand has their own utility for overclocking, just like other brands might have their own software. This one has a pretty good software that can monitor, store, log, and of course allow you to tweak the power, fan speed, memory clock, GPU, all of that, and that's what I did obviously to increase it. Results may vary depending on the card that you get, but this gives you a good idea. Maxed out here at 100% load running in the background, it'll go up to 56 degrees Celsius tops. Which is very respectable considering that the fan is running really quiet at around 1200 RPM. Whether it's on default clocks or overclocked, it's pretty much the same, and it's very quiet, and I really like that. This card, 1080p, maxed out settings, quiet, cool. What can you ask for? It's great. Great card, great performance there for a mainstream card, not asking for too much. Running some synthetic benchmarks on some variety of software such as the Fire Strike benchmark here. You can see the score 6873, and you can compare this online and see how it performs to the default results that it shows on the Future Mark website. And for DirectX 12, they also have the Time Spy benchmark, which gave me a 2553 score. And again, comparing this online, you can see how it performs. Moving along, I also installed this utility called Performance Test 9.0. And that one here ran a variety of tests, and then it gave me a result compared to, for example, the GTX 970 and the R9 380, and it came very close to those two cards. I was quite impressed that, for a GPU that doesn't really have much of a difference. It's 14 nanometer architecture, sure. It's using Samsung's technology in there, and the GPU is a 107. Model, but still nothing terribly out of the ordinary. But overclocking it, you will get a boost anywhere, like I said, from 5 to 10 frames per second, depending on the game, on the utility that you use. So definitely worth enabling the boost. here is Battlefront, Star Wars Battlefront. You can see, again, I'm running the games at 1080p because that's what this card is really meant for, but I'm maxing it out, running it at high graphics settings or ultra, and you can see, again, how it scales when it's at default or when you press that little button and overclock it. It will scale a little bit, and you will see that little boost. For some games, you might not see much of a difference, to be honest, but it all depends on the game, right? Everything has a different graphics engine, and you might see a jump in frames per second. Battlefield 4, for example, I did not notice a significant amount of improvement when overclocking, so pretty much running it at the defaults is good enough. I mean, anything over 30 frames per second is quite decent at 1080p. Obviously, if you can get the 60 frames per second, that's great. That'll be the smoothest. But again, not complaining here, considering the type of card that you're getting. Only has 4 gigs of GDDR5 memory, remember that. Fallout 4, also, you can see here, that one is a pretty intensive graphics engine on here, and I did see a significant amount of increase when overclocking it. So this is a game that would benefit from the overclock for sure. Okay, and it all depends. Everybody's playing all kinds of different games, right? So you might notice it on a different game. I didn't obviously test it on every single game out there, but I just wanted to give you an idea so you can see how it scales when you overclock it a little bit. And you see those results again with Tomb Raider here at 1080p, running it on the highest ultimate settings. If you like driving, well, obviously, we've got the rally racing game from the Dirt series, so you can see here, and that one, again, running it at the highest quality settings, default clocks. You can see there the frames per second and the average of 51 overclocked. I get a little boost to 56 on average, so that's about 5 frames per second there by enabling that boost. Not bad at all. Definitely liked the card. The construction, the quality was good. I was surprised, to see that back plate. That's usually something that higher end cards get, but hey, not complaining. Here's the price from gearbest.com, and I'll add the link below if you're wondering and looking to get some Black Friday deals. Again, I'd like to thank GearBest for providing it. Comment below, let me know what you think, and thank you for watching.